This episode of the Tome Show is brought to you by listeners like you. Thanks for being patrons at patreon.com/the Tome Show. Welcome to the Tome, a D&D news, reviews, and interview show, and I'm your Tome host, Jeff Greiner. And in this episode, number 388, we're going to take a giant look at the 2024 and 25 version of the Monster Manual. Joining us for this episode is the fire giant of the Tome Show. Stoddard comes to us from designing at Dimension 20, Worlds Beyond Number, and other things, as well as being a Tome Show regular. And he does it all expertly because he goes down into the word volcanoes of the world and crafts the most impressive of works.
That's because I'm both a fire and stone giant by this description, I think. I'm not sure. But I am pretty bold, so I'm getting there.
Fire giants are master crafters. It says
sure,
so
but
in the lore.
The word thing is very kind of...
But word volcanoes. See, then it's fire giants.
I have no interrupted words. That part's right.
Okay, good enough.
Today we're doing my favorite effing monsters.
See, I was going to see if I could go the whole episode without making that joke, but never mind.
I'm going to get it right in there, in before the bell.
I suppose. Before we can even introduce our next guest, we'll see how he thinks about this, but he is the flump of the Tome Show, coming to us from Gnome Stew, What Do I Know, JR, the podcast They Go With Advantage, and is a friendly psychic oddball. It's Jared Rascher.
Sure, I'll be the pancake monster that warns you that other aberrations are around.
I'm a Flump fan myself, but okay. And I'm a Jared Rascher fan too, so it works out.
Why, thank you.
So, in case you didn't pick up on it, we are talking about the latest Monster Manual. D&D 5e got an update in 2024, and we're doing a monster-by-monster dive into this book. This is episode 12 of our Monster Manual series that clearly is going to take us, I'm guessing, at least 2 years to get through at this pace. I'm trying to actually slow it down a little bit and do some other things so we're not just talking about the Monster Manual for 2 years, but we can do other things too. So to get us started, it's disclosure time. Jared, as always, has integrity, and Brandis and I are shills who got review copies. Unless something has changed.
I also have no contacts at Wizards.
I mean, I haven't had much contact with anybody at Wizards in a long time, actually. So,
the Heroes of the Borderlands box is the most recent thing I got, and that thing deserves a whole unboxing video because, man. It's a brilliant piece of packaging and presentation. I'm really pleased with that.
I haven't seen it because they like you more than me.
But, well, it's my charm and good looks.
It's true. It's true. I've always said it. So let's talk about monsters that start with the letter F, as categorized in the 2024-25 Monster Manual. Starting us off, we have fairy dragons, which now are in two categories, both adult and youth. And I don't know, have we done that before? Have adult and youth fairy dragons?
Yeah, the 2014 ones were split up like that too. They said younger and older.
Oh, well, we don't have two separate stat blocks.
Right. I'm looking at it right now. There's only one stat block.
Well, see, this is what I get for looking in D&D Beyond.
Yep. I'm in D&D Beyond. I don't know where you're looking.
So in 2015, we've only got the fairy dragon. I'm just gonna say, having a lower CR fairy dragon than 2 is not worth the trade-off in the lore.
Oh,
well, yeah, they
need for that.
They slashed and burned the lore.
Is nearly enough to justify the cuts to the lore because, there's just nothing there at all.
There's 4 sentences of lore. 4 sentences.
It's not that's not enough, guys.
You know what they did?
The Fairy Dragon doesn't tell itself.
You know what they did? I'm looking more closely at the 2014 Fairy Dragon stat block. They organized them by colors. So red, orange, and yellow Fairy Dragons were CR1.
Okay.
And green, blue, and indigo and violet Fairy Dragons were CR2, which is the same split we have, only they're calling the warm colors youth and the cool colors adult.
Okay. Yeah, I missed that. That's interesting. Okay. And it just changes their innate spellcasting.
Yes.
From
it changes what spells they have.
Nice, but not incredible to oh dear, that's very powerful.
And now the adults just have all of the spell casting of all of the cool color Fairy Dragons. So they're actually more powerful now than they were before.
Yeah.
Because instead of being able to cast either hallucinatory terrain or polymorph, they can do both.
Yeah. Major image and suggestion go to no one. Those just dropped out. It's okay. It's not a massive loss.
No.
But I do sort of like the dragon color age range chart. That kind of thing.
I mean, I'd argue that major image is a little bit better for a trickster dragon to have than minor image, but
well, yeah,
it is weird.
It's less of a serious illusion and more of just a spot piece little illusion.
And this critique doesn't matter anymore because I'm talking about the 2014 version. But you mentioned that in 2014, like the color is based on the age. And you've got a chart with if they're less than 5 years old, they're red. If they're 6 to 10 years old, they're orange. On and on and on. It is weird to me that as I go from 20 to 21, and all of a sudden I forget one spell and learn another one. That's weird. I don't understand how that ecology works, or that biology works.
Actually, that isn't necessarily the right read.
No,
additional spells.
As the dragon,
they keep all the old ones.
It gains additional spells.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's at least a very valid read that says color and below.
Well, yeah, I agree. Now that you point that out, I agree. Okay, good. So that then this version makes some more sense. It's just that they're just assuming that adult fairy dragons are all violet.
Yep.
Because they can cast polymorph from below.
Right, which they like because it standardizes the CR at all.
Right.
Right. Like just saying, these two things are the same CR, even though one only goes up to suggestion and the other adds major image, hallucinatory terrain, and polymorph. Like, those aren't worth even one CR bump. Nothing. And none of it's reflected in the hit points. So both of
them have more hit points than the old one.
Yeah, exactly.
I like how in the armor class they just the young fairy dragon just sort of took a dive. On that one.
It's supposed to be a lower CR. It's
right. No,
okay.
Yeah, it's honestly kind of weird that there was just one stat block with slightly different spells before, because that's not how the math of CR works.
We've said this about a few monsters. What kind of a monster are you if you're fighting fairy dragons on a regular basis?
Right. Like, your job is to get trolled by fairy dragons, buddy. I'm sorry.
Well, my experience is that the fairy dragon stat blocks are there for when the PCs ally with one. So I can use 100%. It to support them.
100%.
Or complicate things, as I did the last time I had a fairy dragon.
Or get one in there that's a trickster and a pain in the ass, but you probably don't fight and kill it.
They can certainly be the worst friend.
I gotta say, the 2024 art looks a lot more friendly than the 2014 art.
Yeah, it does.
you don't seem excited by that.
I kind of like them looking like dragons on top of still. I mean, I do remember like the original artwork for them was they look like dragons, but they had ridiculous smiles.
Yeah. Oh. I mean, the 2024 looks like a seahorse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's got that going. It's got those big crests or whatever at the top, and for whatever reason, the blue one has antenna.
Yeah. So
they both have antenna.
You kind of like.
I think it's supposed to make them look more like butterflies.
Yeah,
it is, right? And I'm kind of wanting them to just be sort of little dragon's friend, looks like a little dragon. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
There's a good
dragon with butterfly wings.
There's a good in between there, I think. There's a sweet spot between the two.
I feel like Smashing Pumpkins had a song about that.
Yeah, that famous one about fairy dragons.
Yeah.
All right.
I was a kid in the 90s. Shut up.
Anything else to say about fairy dragons? We're trying to get through the Fs.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Apparently, they didn't have much to say about fairy dragons either. So what can we?
Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah, they basically function the same, don't they? Their invisibility works differently, and in that it's listed as a bonus action now instead of just a thing. That's dumb. Before it was just a thing they could do as a bonus action. It was listed under traits.
Yeah.
But it's not listed under the bonus action actions. That's dumb.
Well, so that's because the 2014 doesn't mostly have a bonus action section.
Mm-hmm. No, but they started doing that before 2024, as I recall.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. There are a lot of
early
in like book over book, especially once you get to about Descent into Avernus is where they first really start messing with format.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that'd be a very narrow but worthwhile piece of Edition Wars. If Sam's schedule ever clears up.
There you go. Get on it. You make that happen. Let's talk about fire elementals. This is our third elemental now. We've done air. We've done earth. If I'm remembering the alphabet correctly. So fire elementals sort of, I imagine, fit into the similar categories.
Yeah, I guess from a balance standpoint, it makes sense. But it is funny to me that the fire elemental gets more lore than the fairy dragon did. Hey, it's a thing made out of fire.
In its defense, it will show up more often.
That's
true.
And I've enjoyed the fire elemental the elemental compositions for the other elementals. No exception. This is solid.
Mm-hmm. It's our D8 table that describes the different things that fire elementals could look like, which is really what that is that it's them embracing the inconsistency of the past. And elementals have been described and done in artwork in such a variety of different ways that they're just saying, that's just the thing with elementals. Sometimes they look like this and sometimes they look like this. Here's a table of random ways they could look.
And I actually, I really like the third item because it sort of goes ahead and says, we don't need to release an elemental variant of every critter you've ever seen or heard of.
Yeah.
It can just be a fire elemental in a weird shape. Guys, it's fine.
Right. Because that one says that one says crackling shapes that look like animals, fiends, skeletons, sprites, or other beings. So you don't need your fire skeleton. You can just have a fire elemental that's in the shape of a skeleton.
Right.
Although that's generally a bigger threat than the fire skeletons were.
I will just bounce that argument very quickly off to say, so they're all large? That's actually not delivering what I wanted anymore. I need the size variation to deliver. This thing is a Firefox, right? By Mozilla. It's fine. They won't sue me for my home game. It's not for paid use.
Didn't fourth edition have a stat block that leaned heavily into fire skeletons that were like archers?
Yeah, absolutely. They ruled. They were super scary.
And you can't really do that here either because they don't have ranged attacks. Even if you wanted to just make it a fire elemental that is in a skeleton shape, it doesn't have a ranged attack.
That's accurate.
Which is interesting because a lot of things got ranged attacks that didn't used to have them.
Yep. And it seems like a fire elemental could very easily like throw fire.
Now, obviously, the three of us are very familiar with modding creatures.
Sure.
And smashing this up with the skeleton stat block would take us less than no effort.
Oh, I wouldn't even bother to I would just do it on the fly. Yeah.
That's exactly. Yeah. Anyway, so the stat comparison, they actually lose hit points.
Yeah.
But that's because their bludgeoning, piercing, slashing resistance is all day, not defeated by magic. Otherwise, things are pretty consistent across the line here. It's not Ignan, it's primordial Ignan. That's just a presentation thing. But
it's so much more clear.
Yeah.
I like them doing it that way.
That's
better.
bothered me for decades.
Yeah, no, I'm not ragging on it. It's just something I'm trying to point out. Like Fire Aura is new. It's new.
It makes sense.
Yeah. No, it should be there. It belongs. Yeah, right.
If you are a creature made out of fire, then it should be hot when people get close to you.
Yeah. But that's sort of taking the pre-existing fire form and then escalating it. So that's good, right? Fire form is kind of broken into fire form and fire aura now, but the passive damage of fire aura, as opposed to the reflected damage, wasn't there before, and it's good.
As I look at these stat blocks and I see things like the fire aura and the keyword emanation there with the capital letter on it and whatever, it occurs to me, is this them leaning 5th edition a little bit more towards 4th than it was before, with more rules, keywords, and what have you?
I mean,
definitely.
I don't know if it's 4th. It is. We must quantify and define a lot more things.
I mean, that feels pretty 4th design style to me.
Well, so
it was very 3rd too, though.
Well,
the little thing going on with emanation is just saving column inches.
Sure.
I mean, they need to say something.
That's largely what it was in 4th too.
Within X feet of the caster, like point blank AOE is something they need to be able to define in a single word, rather than having to sort of go back and do it from scratch every time. And I will just say, relearning to write using words like emanation is a pain.
Sure.
Because I'm having to do it, and it's a pain.
Yeah.
But it is better.
I think of all of the things that they quantified, though, I really like emanation as a better way of doing that whole 10-foot aura centered on, that always took up extra words, whereas it's an emanation. It goes out from you. That's cool.
No, I'm okay with it. I've just my sort of elevator pitch of 5th edition for somebody who knows D&D is they kind of made a better version of 3rd edition with the lessons they learned from 4th edition. Is a lot of what 2014 5e feels like to me mechanically. And now I feel like they're like, maybe we don't need to be so shy about the 4th edition bits that we learned and bring some more of those in at this point.
So, yeah, it is weird to me that they increase the damage of water susceptibility. Weird.
Yeah, because that's not something that would, like, if you were tinkering with CR or something to bump something somewhere, that doesn't seem like something that would factor in a whole lot. That's kind of situational.
I think what probably has to be happening is, like, they had players looking at their 1 gallon water skin. A gallon water skin. Come on, you can't do that. That's 8 pounds of water. Don't. But look at their water skin and be like, I could do 1 damage with this, and they're not thinking about, like, so wall of water is just instant death. Weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I noticed something kind of interesting here, and that is that if you look at this in D&D Beyond, burning is called out as a keyword, which lets you know burning is a game rule. However, if you don't have hyperlinks, you have to know that burning is a game a game rule that has a specific definition.
Yeah, because in the book it just lists, it just says it starts burning, and you have to figure out what that means. Whereas like emanation is a keyword, and it's a keyword because it's capitalized. Why is burning not capitalized when it's also a mechanical keyword?
I mean, I have another question for you too. Burning is a hazard, but it is a hazard that says you are on fire until you are no longer on fire, which sounds kind of like a condition too.
Yep. I still have all my old 4E condition markers I can pull out. It's awesome. I invested in a whole case of different colored magnets. All right, should we move on to fire giants?
I'm checking the damage values real quick, just because
Okay.
I didn't look at those before. Blah, 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 blah. Yep, same. Okay. Like in 2014, things can have different burning amounts. It can be D6 or D10 or whatever.
Sure.
No, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're good.
Oh.
Sorry.
But see, that almost sounds to me like another case for it being a actual condition than if it's going to do standardized damage, but that's me.
Nope, I agree.
Don't disagree with you.
It is definitely a condition, whether they call it that or not. All right, let's talk about fire giants.
Fire giants.
It's Brandis's
I love
people
giants.
from the word volcanoes.
Yeah. Totally, for sure.
Oddly enough, big creatures, really small stat block, tiny little lore.
Sort of a classic thing for giants until you get to the much more involved stat blocks of Glory of the Giants.
Right.
And I guess even what's the name of that book? Not predated Tome of Foes. Come on, guys, help me out.
Guide to Monsters?
Thank you. God, I swear I've played D&D before, guys. It's just been
Well, the 5e library has gotten pretty extensive at this point, so
yeah, that's the truth. So that starts to introduce much more like involved stat blocks for giants. But yeah, they're very tidy in 2014.
Yep.
And here again in 2024.
It can hit you with a sword. It can throw a hammer at you. The end.
Well,
Yep.
just to
Finally,
point out,
use
though,
hammers instead of rocks. It's very good.
Yes, instead of the D&D over applying one lesson where stone giants threw rocks in Tolkien, therefore every giant everywhere always throws rocks.
And so you always have to justify why there's a pile of boulders everywhere the giant goes.
The fire giant that forges things can actually like wing a tool at you now,
right? and hopefully they're carrying a bunch of them because they can throw 2 hammers per turn. It's like is that the original? Was it Donkey Kong? where you'd get the power up and you throw hammers.
I mean, me personally, I absolutely love giants. I also don't think they get enough respect. I loved Bigby's because of that. But I mean, I like it. The only thing, I mean, they have the hammer now. The hammer can push things back when it hits them. That's cool because we are getting a few more things with giants that are showing that, yes, not only is it strong, this is a huge size thing that's strong. It should be able to like move you around the battlefield. It's just weird to me that every type of giant has a slightly different way of doing that. And it's not with every weapon. Like, it's not moving you with a greatsword that it's hitting you with, but it is with the hammer.
Well, and it occurs to me, like, I'm thinking about my game where I've got a dwarf with a crossbow that has the weapon mastery. So every time he hits, he pushes you 10 feet or whatever. And so I'm like, oh, well, the hammer is just kind of playing off of the weapon mastery idea, and we're giving it to monsters too, which is totally fair. The bad guys should have, if the PCs are doing all these crazy weapon mastery things, the bad guys should do that stuff too. But they're not doing it with the sword. The sword doesn't do any weapon mastery like things, just the hammer that they throw. So it's clearly not them just saying, hey, let's give the bad guys some weapon mastery style things. It's them saying, well, giants knock people down. So let's put that in the hammer.
Yep. I mean, this is another place where, oh my lord, has the lore gotten boiled down.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they were a column and a quarter just on fire giants before. And now they're, about a quarter of a column.
Yeah.
Give or take. Maybe a third of a column.
So, yeah. I mean, the gist of the last 12 episodes is, if you're looking for monster lore, the Monster Manual is not the place to look.
Yeah. And right now, there is no place to look in 2024. In principle, the settings are going to do more of that. I guess we'll see.
I would say in principle, we have all the older lore, and until, it's kind of like the new DCU that James Gunn and Peter Safran are doing. Nothing is canon until they bring it in and it's officially canon in the new version of the universe. Only it's kind of the opposite. All the old stuff is officially canon until they bring something in that says otherwise.
Except that here again, like, what does canon mean is the question.
Well,
does it mean anything?
Canon doesn't mean anything because everybody's playing their own game.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else with fire giants?
Nay, sir.
Then let's talk about the new multicolored flame skulls.
There's actually more than human skulls being displayed in the artwork there.
And they're not always green. Like, it has become a commonly known thing. When I describe a skull that glows green, every single player at my table knows what that means.
Yeah,
because
I mean, that was literally the description for flame skulls. It's a green flame.
Yeah, but the new artwork anyway shows one that's green, one that's pink, one that's yellow, one that's a dragonborn, one that's a, what are we gonna guess? Orc?
Yeah, I'd say orc.
Yeah.
So we have variety in our flame skulls now, because the color was never the important part. The important part is sort of what they are and how scary they can be, because they fly out and throw fireballs at relatively low level PCs.
Yep. Or there are two of them and they both throw fireballs at medium level PCs.
I was
problem.
Yep.
I was just gonna say, these are CR4, which means it's not unlikely to run into more than one of them at a time, which means it's not unlikely to get fireballed twice in the same round. And I have said this as someone who's been fireballed twice in one round multiple times by flame skulls.
Yep.
Yeah, buddy.
I believe there's one at the end of Lost Mines of Phandelver, in Wave Echo Cave, and it's like, oh, it's probably not mathematically likely, but you could TPK a party in this one random encounter that's not even that important to the story. So,
yep.
So watch out with those fireballs, folks.
Well, still nothing's as deadly as the first encounter of Phandelver. First encounter.
The goblins on the side of the road?
Yeah, the goblins. I'm just saying that has killed plenty of people because one, you don't know how to play yet, and two, you have nothing. Nothing.
I don't know. The beginning of Tyranny of Dragons has always felt more D&D on hard mode to me.
Yeah.
So after that, Phandelver was like, yeah, they'll be fine.
Langdedrosa Cyanrath, wasn't it?
Sure.
Isn't that the one? Yeah. Awful murders.
Yeah. So anyway, flame skulls. Other than the color change, how do they stand up?
Not a whole lot different.
Well, so if they are grounded for some reason, now they can hop along on their jaw.
Oh, they do have a 5 foot. They do have a 5 foot speed.
Yep.
It just makes me want to sometime actually describe a flame skull just rolling on the ground.
Yep. So, like, there aren't that many ways to deny flying to an opponent, but if you need one, this is it. So they've lost Blur and Flaming Sphere and Shield. And
Shield is a loss.
Touch. Shield is serious loss. Because their 13 AC is nothing.
No.
Right. And in 13 AC with 40 hit points, they're not going to get past I throw the fireball on round 1 and then I'm throwing out some magic missiles. If I have to, I've got fire rays, and that's thematically appropriate. I was never pulling out Flaming Sphere.
Yeah. Well, their goal should be like kiting you in the air and only engaging with the, archers or whatever.
Right.
I was going to say Flaming Sphere and Blur I don't miss, but Shield is kind of a little painful there.
Yep.
Fire Ray has picked up 3 points of damage because they get to add their spellcasting ability modifier to it now. So that's sort of nice for them. But we're on a pretty similar overall place here. I mean, they are very damage forward, very low defense.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They're not hard to take down, but you got to survive that fireball in round 1 first.
And there's kind of a D&D tradition of like disembodied heads being glass cannons.
Sure. with notable exceptions.
Well, not the Demi-Lich, but that's
right.
That's a whole other thing.
A Sarac came to mind, but yeah. All right.
I was thinking like the Varghouls. Those are like horrific things to have touch you, but also very easy to poke in the eye and kill.
Right. I can tell you that because the flying skull covered in green flame is so recognizable, that when my players saw the one in Phandelver, boy, it was really important to them to spend their inspiration to get higher up on the initiative so that they could take that thing out before it had a chance to fireball. And they did.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah. I think the monk may have pulled off a stunning strike. That
is a smart spend.
Yeah, ignore all the other monsters and just go after the flame skull.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, flesh golems. We have Frankenstein.
No.
Frankenstein's monster?
Yes.
Okay. I said, which specific thing are you correcting me on here? So, okay.
Guys, he gets a canonical name. You can just call him Adam. It's okay.
Right. If I had just said, we get Adam, then nobody knows what I'm talking about.
I really, really love flesh golems. I love flesh golems enough that they were a PC race in the LARP that I ran.
Nice.
Yeah. They were super fun, and the players who played them loved them. Being a stitched-together monstrosity for fun and profit.
The longer this discussion goes on, the more I have like Alice Cooper's "I Love the Dead" stuck in my head here. So.
So tell me how flesh golems stack up from 2014.
Well,
got a little beefier in hit points.
They picked up some hit points, y'all. Because the damage immunity to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing from non-magical, non-adamantine weapons is gone.
Because it has no resistances. It only has immunities.
Right. And I think that's sort of a big shift, except that they expected you to have magic weapons and fight them. So they didn't expect that immunity to do anything other than justify terrifying other NPCs.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of a gatekeeper thing. Like you must be this tall of an adventurer before you can ride this monster.
So now if the townsfolk go after the flesh golem with their pitchforks, like they can hit it and they can do their damage. And it's not that it's immune to that damage, it's just that it has so many hit points that your 1d4 minus 1 isn't going to stack up until long after it's pulped you.
Yeah, maybe. Right. it kind of depends on how actually reliably it's killing one to two villagers around,
Sure.
which hard to know.
I mean, it's got the damage.
Yeah, it's solid on damage. It's not overwhelming on damage. It's not sort of damage forward. It's more defense forward.
No, but 17 hit points per round is enough to twice per round is enough to take out villagers.
Yes, enough to take out villagers. It's not a huge threat to PCs, is my point.
Sure.
They did get a slight lightning kicker over their previous damage.
That's interesting to me as well. Like, I get that in the source material, lightning is used to bring the creature to life. And so the lightning absorption ability of the flesh golem makes sense to me. It is weird to me that they're punching with lightning now. Because that doesn't feel like a thing. But
someone was watching Van Helsing with Hugh Jackman. So
Yep. Let's see.
I agree. I don't need it to like do extra lightning damage. That does seem a little over the top for what they usually do. I mean, it is funny because it's D&D, and this is all very over the top stuff anyway, and it's an animated corpse, but it does kind of move the flesh golem from being, oh my god, it's a bunch of corpses stitched together, to being a very obviously magical thing that is coursing with electricity.
Yeah, that's definitely true. It shifts the tenor of the fantasy for sure.
yeah, it feels a little more anime to me.
I mean, they did have lightning absorption before. That was pretty cool.
And that makes sense. But the lightning damage when they punch is a kicker that tells a different story.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
All right. Shall we talk about Jared's people, the Flumps?
Actually, I will last thing, I will object to flesh golems not being able to speak. I think that's coming from the movie and not the novel, so I object to it.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, Frankenstein is one of my favorite novels of all time. So
it's really, really good. Man, is that book good? Like, if you've only seen movie versions of Frankenstein, stop. Go read the book. None of them are on its level.
Outside of Young Frankenstein, I don't know that I've ever seen a movie with Frankenstein. So.
You didn't see Hugh Jackman's seminal work? It was not good, guys.
I feel like Van Helsing was on the list of bad movies to watch on a day when I had nothing to stream, but I don't remember ever actually watching it. So,
hey, I love it just because it's got the most over-the-top Dracula that you could ever hope for, and I love him. But
I mean,
it does have a very cool crossbow. That's what it has going for it in my book.
I guess if you count Creature Commandos and the DC Comics version of Frankenstein, then yes, I've consumed Frankenstein stuff in the form of DC Comics. But I like that Frankenstein for very different reasons than I like the novel Frankenstein. So.
Frankenstein.
I am looking forward to the Del Toro one. The Kenneth Branagh one wasn't bad. It actually tried to do stuff from the book, which is more than a lot of versions did.
Okay. On to Flumps. Flumps, I feel like artwork wise, Flumps got definitely more colorful in the artwork for 2024. But also, I feel like cuter. Like, they were already pretty cute. But like now their eyes look like googly eyes and their mouths look like they're smiling.
Yeah, it's more of a defined smile there.
Yeah.
It's definitely not, though, where you look at it and go, that's a completely different species. I mean,
right. That's the thing.
It's not a radical shift.
Although 2014, they feel like weird aberrant alien creatures because but when you give them a little human-like smile and googly eyes, now suddenly it's like, oh, this is just a weird squid creature that flies around. They don't come off as aberrant now, but they are super cute. I don't know which one is better. Super cute is a lot of fun, but the other one tells the story of what they are, I think, a little more, maybe.
So I've said this on air before, but I am probably the only person in history to have LARPed a flump.
On purpose?
It was a celestial jellyfish that was offering intelligent, wise advice. Now, it was a vision by for a character who was, to put it mildly, tripping balls.
Sure.
But it was a flump by any reasonable description.
For anybody listening to this who may be new enough to D&D that they don't know what a flump is, they are small, aberrant jellyfish things that fly around at the top of caverns in the Underdark whenever there's weird psychic stuff going on, and they're friendly and they're helpful. They tend to fly around in like pods of multiple flumps, and they're usually a pretty good warning that, hey, there's weird, aberrant, far realmy stuff going on. These aren't the threat, but these are the canary in the coal mine.
Yeah, and actually, I mean, the way they've been portrayed in several editions, it's not, they know the bad things that they are kind of feeding off of, and they will warn things away from them, because they are actively good little floating pancakes with tentacles.
Yep. They are lawful good, which is weird coming from the Far Realm. Which I suppose that's part of the Far Realm, right? You got to have weird things, or else it wouldn't be the Far Realm. So, yep. And I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, in the Spelljammer adventure they put out for 5th edition, there is a pirate flump that
I believe there is
NPC that you can run into that wears a little pirate hat and things. Yep.
Sure, dude.
I mean,
live your best life.
No matter like what you might feel about other things being made more whimsical in the 2024 rules, it's not. It's hard to make flumps more whimsical than they have been previously.
Accurate.
They were kind of born whimsical.
Yep.
So absolutely. This is a rare case where there might be more column inches of lore than in 2014. 2014 has smaller text, so it may not be more words, but there's the table of flump colors and the table of flump assistance.
Okay, yeah. There's less text lore.
Yeah.
But there is
column inches.
But you've got those two tables with how might they be helping and what colors do they change to indicate different emotions? Which for certain creatures, I occasionally I'll have like there's an adventure. It's the one in Chalt. We were just talking about Sarac. Tomb of Annihilation. Where I believe Dragonbait, the classic Sorial, can show up or whatever, and then I have to go and look up the classic. What are the smells and what do they indicate, sort of thing. Having that in the stat block is helpful.
He smells like bread. What does that mean?
Right. And I didn't tell him.
Honestly, yeah. I really like it when they do put that in a table like that, though, because when it's in a paragraph, yes, it's there, but my brain sometimes cannot find the middle of a paragraph, especially in the middle of a game session.
Right.
Yeah.
I rather enjoy the magenta. That they threw in a color of, it's magenta. What emotion does that indicate? Who knows? And then they put an asterisk on it. There's a footnote of rarely seen, potentially no human equivalent. What does this mean? I don't know. You figure it out.
It means magenta.
Right. They're feeling magenta, the emotion magenta.
Don't you get it?
Right. Because that's what happens when you're a strange Lovecraftian creature that's friendly.
See, I don't think you can even call them Lovecraftian because,
Oh, no.
Howard Phillips could not conceive of something that was vaguely sea creature related that did not terrify him and make him think it's going to destroy the human race.
It's Lovecraftian in as much as, in my mind, everything far realmy and aberrant sort of stems from a foundation of Lovecraft.
The only big thing I noticed is they simplified the ongoing acid damage into just doing acid damage.
Honestly, a good fix.
Yes, it is.
It's easier to adjudicate. All right. Let's move on from Jared's people and talk about another kind of giant, the Fomorian, which are not listed as giants, but they're giants.
They absolutely are.
Yep. They're not Fomorian giants.
I mean, no, but basically you're going from a lot of D&D giants, which are traditionally Norse, to your Celtic style giants in this case.
Yep, and these are your weird mutated Underdark giants that for some reason in almost all artwork and miniatures have one giant bulging eye.
Because of Balor of the Evil Eye in Celtic mythology.
I suppose. Well, in my campaign next session, I've got I need some Far Realms mutated stone giants, and so I am using Fomorian miniatures for that.
I really love Fomorians as just unseelie giants.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I think that's super fun.
It is a nice crossover between those two themes.
Yep.
If you're going to think of them as unseelie, then should we reskin them as Fae instead of giants? Because everything else got to be Fae.
I should.
No, they're both.
They could be both. It's fine.
They could be both, but they're not. Rules as written.
Yeah, I solved this by tossing on Fae ancestry. Bob's your uncle.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure. If we want to talk about how you can change the book, but we're talking about the book as it exists.
I'm not saying it's the lore. I'm saying it's what I would prefer as the lore.
Sure.
I like this art pretty well. The Evil Eye is pretty cool. But I do like the 2014 also because you get a sort of clearer image of what the thing is. Right?
Yeah.
Like this is so foreshortened that it's a little. What am I looking at?
Yeah, I mean it is that sort of for a giant that has one huge eye. The 2014 artwork is more grounded, more more realistic. I hate to say that for a giant,
sure, because now in 2024 the eye is glowing and it's got these multicolored pustules growing on it and what have you. Which is, I don't dislike the look. And I'm going to imagine that glowing eye is glowing because it's in the middle of using the ability, and that's the magic of the eye triggering. It's also worth noting that it's not called the Evil Eye anymore. It is the Warping Hex.
Yeah, fair. That's probably a cultural sensitivity issue for
probably.
Because the Evil Eye means something very specific in other cultures.
Yep.
That's again a very tidy stat block.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Like Warping Hex, boy, they stripped some words out of that sucker.
Yep. Warping Hex is way simpler than the Evil Eye was.
But I mean that Great Club is not a joke. I used a couple of Fomorians in a reasonably recent encounter in my Dragon Heist game, and the PC fighter agreed to duel one because again I'm using them as unseelie, and it critted, and it was sort of oh no.
Yep. 48 plus 6 on a crit is gonna hurt.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, I like that the little how they have the blurbs from famous people or whatever describing them. I like that we have blurbs from Bigby since it was established in earlier 5th edition from Bigby's Glory of the Giants that Bigby is apparently an expert on giants.
And honestly, it's interesting because in some places they don't get the specific, but they even go on to mention Karantor, which is not one of the better known D&D deities, but that is the like the father of all of the Fomorians.
Yep.
They don't go into the lore.
They're playing into giant the giant pantheon a little bit more. That was discussed in Glory of the Giants, but otherwise almost never comes up.
They don't obviously, because they're not spending this much time on the lore. They don't go into what Bigby's introduced, which is that there are Fomorians that were not affected by this curse, but they're still pretty nasty pieces of work.
Yep.
But they do get more hit points. Not a ton, but enough that, if they're alive for one more round with that club,
yeah,
that's pretty nasty.
Yep.
Well, and one more chance to recharge that warping hex.
Yeah. I mean, I love Fomorians just because they are very simple, like most of the giants, but they do have something interesting with the warping hex.
Yeah.
So it isn't just that they're a sack of hit points doing a lot of damage.
It is also, I mean, you guys may have said this and I just spaced, but warping hex changing from once per short or long rest to recharge 4 through 6 is meaningfully different.
And it's it's described in the lore that the warping hex changes you and will basically mutate you or whatever. The evil eye did the same thing. But this is where we get the use of the random table in the lore here of hey, here's a D6 table of the weird things that can happen to your body when you're hit with this hex. You grow these pustules, or your veins start bulging and crawling under your skin, or weird stuff like that.
Well, and they're trying to be very specific about what they even mean by warping, and they're not using the word deformity as a issue.
Yep.
So that's all to the good.
But I mean, haven't we all had excessive sweating of rainbow-hued fluids before?
I don't know if I'd say rainbow-hued.
Have you consulted with a physician? Just ever?
All right, let's talk frost giants. We've gone from one giant to another. This is our third giant of the Fs, which is weird because you'd think you get most of your giants in the Gs, but here we are.
3 effing giants.
3 effing giants.
I would say, being a fan of giants, that I'm in heaven here, but actually I would be in Jotunheim.
Jotunheim.
Yeah. Very good. Very good.
Yep. So we have our frost giants. These are giants of the cold. Same CR as the Fomorians. Did they have a bow before?
Well,
no, they had a rock before.
They threw rocks before. Now they have a bow.
Everybody had a rock before. In 3rd edition, there were some frost giant scouts that had bows. So it's not completely unprecedented, but we're talking about back when you used to scale things up and down for things, and they had the exact same stats as PCs. So I don't know that I like a bow for a frost giant, though.
It is a choice.
I mean, I've never really associated them with frostbows or with longbows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a they're going for they're a very sort of warlike people, and they've got their war cry ability and what have you, and so they want to give them a range thing that sort of fits that motif.
I'd give them a spear.
Throwing spears makes sense. Yep. And
I'm with my colleague on this one.
That feels more Norse as well.
Oh yeah. Not to mention, just think about a spear 3 times the normal size getting skewered 3.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It is a spear. So there. It's done. Let me get my pen out. And
yes. As we've said with the other ones, though, no longer throwing rocks. They have some other ranged attack there.
Yep.
They
But
did gain a little bit.
It was very easy to explain their ammunition.
Yeah, a sheaf of arrows is a lot easier to explain than I got this bag full of boulders that I just haul around sometimes.
Every time we see a pile of rocks, we're going to encounter a giant. Why don't we understand that by now?
Yep, my current campaign that's dealing with the stone giants, not to get too far afield. It's been the mountain was recently ripped into the air, and so the town is in rubble and whatever. So boulders are aplenty because they can just pick up a chunk of a nearby fallen house and throw it at people. But that was a convenient thing that happened that just sort of fit into the story that I was telling. I did have a random encounter with a stone giant that was being pursued by some weird aberrant creature, sort of harboring, or foreshadowing some of the aberrant things going on in the story. And so when they found the giant, he was very busily sort of running around, finding rocks and piling them up, getting ready for this thing that was chasing him.
So, talked about the bow. I wasn't a big fan of the bow, but I'm just going to call it a spear. I'm good with that.
Yep.
Warcry, I guess it's okay. They're Viking-ish. I can see them yelling in the middle of a fight. I don't know that it's super associated with frost giants, but
Okay, I'm just gonna say frost giant howling into a blizzard is amazing and does belong to me.
As soon as you say that, then I start hearing Immigrant Song in my head, so that's fine.
And I kind of want to picture it not as it could be howling into the blizzard, but I want it to be like a war horn.
Yeah,
that feels like
amazing too.
Yeah.
That's even more Viking. Yeah.
Yep.
It's a simple stat block. They don't get a lot of giants did get something that shows that they can manhandle people around the battlefield, and they didn't really get that. They can slow people down.
They slow people down, which is again them kind of, hey, creatures get weapon mastery stuff sometimes.
Mm-hmm. They get a little bit of cold damage with their great axe, which again, like any of the heavily elemental themed giants, that probably should have been a no-brainer from the beginning anyway.
Their axes are always shown as having heads made out of ice, so it would make sense.
The art here is very good, right? They're fighting among some long halls. That's getting the job done for me. I'm feeling that.
Yeah. This is one of those cases where I like the 2024 or 25 art better than the 2014. Like, nothing wrong with the 2014, but it's a little more subdued. And I do like this, the big, looming. You have the scale. That's what's good in that. You have the scale, seeing them loom over the long ships there.
Yeah. Well, the 2014 is a police lineup where they're demonstrating that fire giants skip leg day.
Right.
Yes.
Yep. All right.
I will only throw out my one stupid thing that I always throw out with frost giants, and that is I wish there was a frost giant stat block that dealt with illusions, because that goes back to Norse mythology. And yeah.
Sure. All right. Let's go to the last F, the last effing monster for that one's for last Brandis.
Yep.
It's the last F I have to give.
That honestly would have been a better way to introduce Jared, but I didn't want to guarantee that we were going to get to fun guy. Because really, Jared is the fun guy of the Tome Show.
Yep. Yeah. There you go.
So the last entry is fungi. We get some of our supernatural fungi. Traditionally, it is gas spores, shriekers, and violet fungus. And then we get a new violet fungus necro hulk, which is just taking one of them and being like, hey, can we get something a little bit more powerful so that it's not just all CR0 and fraction creatures, but we can get something that actually has CR worth playing with?
Yeah, spoiler, that thing's sick as hell. I love it.
It is pretty cool.
There
is also something just weird about, like, like fungus things having dead stuff growing through it because we know that fungus grows on dead things, so that just kind of makes sense.
That's well, and you were talking about the artwork. This is another one where, generally speaking, I think I like the 2024 art more, but this is one specifically where I like you look at this art, the gas spore looking like the old school first edition.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Drawing, but it works. Like it looks like that old crappy line drawing, but works. In that it's got this kind of weird beholdery sort of look, but sillier. But this one works better for me than the gas spore in 2014. The shrieker fungus growing on the decapitated head is kind of badass in here. I really like the artwork for the fungus here.
Mm-hmm. I do wonder, the whole point of a gas spore is for it to burst.
Right.
So it's kind of weird that they got more hit points.
It's got to have enough hit points to actually get close to you to make that burst mean something.
Pretty much. I mean, in theory, you could still miss 8 AC or not deal 13 hit points. This is such an amazing case. It has 9d10 minus 36 hit points. Outstanding. Great work, guys. No notes.
That is fantastic. 9d10 minus 36.
That is the most amazing stupid joke in the entire book. I have no idea what designer would have written that, but that is outstanding.
Because it could have just been 2d8, but no, 9d10 minus 36.
Yep. Well, they want them to fail con saves, so they have to get down to down to -4 con mod.
Oh, and they have to make the -4 con mod make sense with the 13 hit points. Yep. Right. No, that's I like that.
We've talked about how basically hit dice are like working backwards from the hit points you want them to have, which is kind of silly, but it's hilarious here.
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
perfect. It's perfect.
Con is one of their best stats. At 3.
Yep, at 3. Only strength is better. Now, other than, and don't give me the answer of because this is the way the line drawing worked in first edition, why does a gas spore fungus have an eye?
Because the whole point of it was supposed to be at a distance.
It looks like a beholder.
You're supposed to describe it as this, as a sphere with an eye in the middle of it with tendrils above it, so that everybody was terrified that there's a beholder back there.
Right? No. I get all that, but why?
Because fungi don't give a. And that's, like they're like fungi are really, really strange. Okay,
it was this weird evolutionary advantage.
Back me up here. Yeah, Sam, come back me up here, buddy. Like fungi are weird.
In a world where beholders exist, they evolved this eye-looking aperture that's not really an eye enough so that people would be scared and run away from it because they think it's a beholder. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, I would not be surprised if this was just like Gygax one night wanted to mess with someone, and they decided to publish it. I mean, that's
like that's what literally happened. But the Watsonian answer of it didn't get eaten because someone thought it was a monster, and that kept like breeding true in its messed up fungal DNA. Like, yeah, that checks out actually. That's not even super weird for fungi.
You sold me. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Other than the gas spore, did the shriekers get any or the normal violet fungus get any significant changes?
Well, the shrieker fungus is an alarm system, right?
Yeah, it's not really ever been a real monster. No. It's
CR0.
Yeah.
It's always weird to me when I see a published adventure and there's shriekers, but like nothing for them to alert. So then, what was the point of throwing the shriekers in there?
Yeah.
Because you're going to mess with someone just like Gygax.
I guess.
Oh my goodness. Man, yeah, I think honestly, I appreciate that they went with the violet fungus, the Necro Hulk, for the artwork, because the violet fungus by itself just kind of looks like a purple mushroom with tendrils. So I mean that's fine, but yeah, giant thing with a bunch of rotting corpses in it, a little scary.
Well, the violet fungus is pictured with the Shrieker and the gas spore.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you already have that art. You need the Necro Hulk because it's something new. Now it is a bit of a I don't know, formula to that I'm picking up, where it's like, oh, we need something that's higher CR, that's new. Let's just take something that already exists and just sort of blow it up into something new, rather than just like, they could have just created something new. They could have created, some sort of pink Necro Hulk fungus or whatever, and instead of blowing up violet fungus up into something completely new. There's nothing. There's nothing
the story
inherent.
connection is kind of nice.
There's nothing inherent about the violet fungus that makes me think, yeah, if this gets big enough, it's going to become ambulatory and walk around with arms and legs.
No, I mean, it's just basically taking that bit about how it decomposes things really fast and kind of saying, hey, what if it decomposes things really fast, and all that stuff just kind of like turned into a giant soup of monster.
Right.
Yeah, in 2014 it says a new violet fungus sprouts from the moldering corpse, growing to full size in 2d6 days. And taking that and be like, what if there were a bunch of moldering corpses? What if there were a mass grave? Okay. Are you all right?
I do think of all of the things that lost false appearance, it is probably the least felt for the violet fungus, because the violet fungus's false appearance is it looks like a fungus, which it actually is.
Right. It looks like the thing that it is. It still does.
Nailed it.
Oh, but it didn't look like a fungus that can move 5 feet per round and do necrotic damage to you.
You're right. So yeah, I guess the violet fungus Necro Hulk is a CR7 upgrade from the CR 1/4 violet fungus, and becomes a large plant creature with a speed of 40 and 123 hit points and an AC of 17, and is gonna smash you with a rotting slam for 1d10 plus 4 plus 2d6 necrotic damage.
I want to use one of these things.
It has more than 3 times the AC of the violet fungus.
Sure.
8 times the speed, right? Yeah. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
It has a spore bomb.
Because it needs a range attack.
Awesome. And it absorbs bodies.
The absorbing bodies thing is actually kind of the badass little thing that it does. What is it? It just moves on top of you and sucks you into its giant rotting corpus?
Yep. Just grafts you in there. Have fun.
This is where the column inches from Evil Eye went. They shrunk it down really with the warped hex. But you got 3 paragraphs of absorbed body here.
I mean, it's a chunky feature, but it's cool enough to justify its existence.
Yeah, sure. I think it's worth it.
But boy, is it like just lumping this together with fungus when everything else is CR 1/2 or lower.
Yeah.
There's one CR7,
Oh yeah.
That is a choice with nothing in between. And nothing between CR 1/2 and 7.
What are those shriekers going to alert anyway?
oh no. Yeah,
we woke up daddy.
No, this is definitely a new thing that I want to use. My PCs are 13th level right now, so probably not going to happen there, but
you could hit them with a bunch of these guys and it'd be a whole problem. Like 3 or 4 spore bombs in a row. Like, I'm reconsidering my life choices.
Yeah, I like them. That's definitely in the win column for new inclusions in here.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
We have successfully finished the the whole F category, and we are ready to move into a multi-part episode just trying to get through the long G section starting next time we record one of these. But I'm going to call this the end of the episode if that's all right for y'all.
Yeah, we effed around and found out.
We effed around and we found out. Well, hopefully all of our listeners found out. I want to say thank you to Jared Rascher. Where can people go if they want to find more Jared Rascher in their lives?
Well, if you want to do that unadvisable thing, you can find me at Thaco with Advantage, the podcast about D&D that I do with my friend Ange. And you can also hear me sometimes on the Gnomecast, which is the Gnome Stew podcast that has various Gnome Stew people on it on a bi-weekly basis.
Awesome. And Brandis, where should people go if they want to see you?
Well, you can find me on Blue Sky at brandisstoddard.bsky.social. You can also read my blog, brandisstoddard.com, or go to my Patreon, Brandis Stoddard. Those haven't seen new content in a minute because I've been totally swamped with work. But if
you want to see his work, you can go to dropout.tv right. or Worlds Beyond Number.
Yep. Yeah, you can see some of the stuff I worked on in Cloudward Ho. There will be more stuff soon.
Crazy airship fans that you can throw enemies into.
Yep. Everyone loves Raiders of the Lost Ark. All right, we all know it. Uh-huh. No one sees a whirling fan blade in a fight and doesn't think, I wonder if I can do that.
And it wasn't your fault that they described it as like feeding a ham through a meat slicer.
No, that one's not my fault. But nope. I did stat it, and so I can take plenty of blame for that.
Oh.
All right. I also want to thank everyone who supports the show by being patrons over at patreon.com/The Tome Show. Without you, I would have a harder time convincing my wife that doing the show was still a good idea. Thanks goes out to our higher tier supporters, Doug Palmer, Hyperlexic, Merrick Blackman, and Michael Harrison. Thanks also to all of our other patrons who supported other levels. If you want to get a hold of the show, you can email thetomeshow@gmail.com. You can also find us, find me anyway, on social media. I'm Squatch on most of the social medias. That's SQUACH. I don't frequent any of them unless I see notifications. So if you tag me in something, I'll definitely notice and respond appropriately. And that is episode 388, where we found fiery files for frequent foes as we discussed the Monster Manual in this episode of The Tome.
I'm on the wall.